Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV on the free Radio Parami app. Download it now.
Tariffs. Prime Minister Mark Carney is celebrating an election victory, his Liberal Party keeping control of Parliament.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen.
The president has numerous times suggested Canada should be our 51st state. A child remains in critical condition in Illinois the morning after a car smashed through a building in Chatham near Springfield hosting an after-school program, killing 2 7-year-olds, another child who was 8, and an 18-year-old as well. 6 other kids were injured. The driver was not hurt, and police this morning say they do not believe the building was targeted intentionally. America's listening to Fox News.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
How to make schools safer. Republicans in Georgia think their new plan will do that, and it's just been signed into law.
Supporters say the new law will prevent school shootings like the one that occurred last September at Appalachia High School, northeast of Atlanta, in which 2 students and 2 teachers were killed. Governor Brian Kemp.
Ensuring the safety of all those in our schools is and will always be a top priority.
It requires police agencies to report to school officials when they learn that a child threatened death or injury to someone at a school and establishes an anonymous reporting system statewide. It also requires schools to provide wearable panic buttons to employees. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
A big change may also be coming to schools in New York that a lot of students might not like.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul says public schools in the state would ban cell phones during the school day as part of a tentative budget agreement with lawmakers. While she did not give a lot of details on how it would be handled, her office has previously said that schools would have some flexibility over how to implement it, and districts would decide how phones are stored. Hochul has also said there would be exceptions for medical reasons, to help with learning disabilities, or for students that are not fluent in English. If it's approved, New York would join at least 8 states, including California, Florida, and Virginia, that have banned or restricted students' cell phone use while in school. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed, up for the Dow, down for the NASDAQ, just like yesterday. In the NBA playoffs, a blowout. Cleveland clobbered Miami by 55 points to complete a sweep. The Cavaliers beat the Heat in 4 games by 122 combined. That's a record. The other game, a lot closer last night, coming down to the last second.
Here comes Van Vliet on the move, trying to tie. The Golden State Warriors have held on.
Houston fell short. The Warriors beat them 109-106 on TNT. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Yeah, I have to admit, Freddie, when you shot that idea down, that was a pretty good idea. I said, hey, Freddie, let's play the Rockets on KURV. No. As executive producer of I'll say no. Thank you, Freddie. Here it comes.
It's not over yet.
Yeah. Well, they're down 3-1.
It's not over yet.
They haven't figured out Golden State, so yeah, they're done. Okay. As a Houston fan, I always think the worst. That's Fred Cruz, our producer. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordin. He's on standby already. I'm Sergio Sanchez. And in the news, update from the city of McAllen. So the city of McAllen yesterday announced that there was, and if you saw social media, it was a pretty good-sized alligator. That sucker was big. I could eat like a small child, or God forbid, or a small animal. The city announced that there was, at the canal at 2nd Street and Pecan, they saw this pretty big-sized alligator. Well, update from the city, they got him. The city just earlier announced that they got it and they relocated. So we won't be seeing you later, alligator, anytime soon. Part of an Edinburgh elementary school is being closed for extensive cleaning and restoration. Classes at Canterbury Elementary canceled after trace amounts of E. coli were found in several classrooms yesterday. So Edinburgh schools had the floors tested after recent flooding caused a sewage overflow at the school. Now, an update, some classes will still be held at Canterbury, though 260 students will be relocated to Freddy Gonzalez Elementary till the end of the school year. Other education-related news, in Austin, the Uvalde Strong Act getting unanimous support in the Texas House. It would create a statewide active shooter response protocol with training.
It's the first bill authored by former Uvalde Mayor, now State Representative Don McLaughlin. It goes after the numerous failures of law enforcement's response nearly 3 years ago when it took police over 70 minutes to breach the classroom at Robb Elementary and take down the gunman.
It creates a clear, unified statewide response protocol so that next time a crisis unfolds, law enforcement won't have confusion or uncertainty to hide behind.
House Bill 33 also establishes clear command in an active shooter situation and mandates joint training between police and school districts.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Head Start funding is headed for the chopping block.
The Trump administration is considering a budget that would cut funding for Head Start, which provides childcare and preschool to low-income families. Experts here in Texas say this would be a huge mistake.
The data is crystal clear. Children who attend Head Start are more likely to graduate high school, attend college, and succeed throughout their lives.
Kim Coffin with Texas-based Children at Risk says parents are able to go to work or school thanks to this program boosting the economy. The decision to cut funding would ultimately be up to congressional Republicans, but they have so far backed President Trump's policies.
And anybody headed to the university this morning, if you have chosen a specific major, according to a Federal Reserve office, who are the college grads that, I don't know, might be living with mom and dad a bit longer? Anyone studying the arts, social work, or education, those would be the lowest paid degrees, according to one Fed report. It's 7:09 on News Talk 710 KURV. It's AccuWeather time, and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordin. Big thank you first to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Purina feed is the best. That's why Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch, they carry Purina feed. They are a certified dealer. You stop by, say hi to Dougie from us. Meteorologist Jeffrey Nordin is joining us. And same old, should be like low, mid-90s today for highs and for a few days. When do you change up weather, Jeffy? Any rain or something like that?
I changed it up Thursday night, Friday, and lasting through the weekend. We're going to have a couple rounds of showers and thunderstorms, the strongest of which are going to be on Thursday evening and potentially still in the area Friday morning.
Okay.
Strong as in some strong wind gusts and some hail. Tornadic threat right now is looking low, but that can change.
Yeah, I noticed there was a map on your site that was showing a good swath, like the majority of Texas, come late this week with a really good chance of rain from central Texas, San Antonio, all these other places. But then left deep South Texas, pretty much left us out of that circle of that strong thunderstorm possibility. So
yeah, right now we don't have it getting all the way down, but it goes from Houston to San Antonio and Dallas. But
well, it sounds to me that you might be a bit more bullish on getting us some type of rain or thunder shower activity by the end of the week or the weekend as well.
Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, every day there's a 0.2 of an inch in the bucket, and then the heaviest rain comes through Saturday. That's about a 1/2 inch for McAllen.
Texas travel, all the trucks headed north today. What you got for them?
Today, nothing during the day for Dallas. We have clouds and sun mid-80s, but tonight into tomorrow, we are tracking some severe weather, so just want to be aware of that. If you're heading around Houston tonight, we're fine. We're going to have clouds, perhaps some sun, mid-80s. Showers and thorns. Wow, that's a good one. Tomorrow and Thursday is going to be under showers and thunderstorms. Nothing severe, but they are going to be around. And then finally, San Antonio during the day today is dry. Tonight into tomorrow, we are looking at severe weather potentially.
Let's see. On the menu for today, it is National Shrimp Scampi Day.
Ooh.
And we celebrate the zipper.
Wonderful thing, the zipper right here. It keeps my sweatshirt together.
Yeah, make sure it's up. Walk around. Check
you mean the fly?
Yeah, check that. Check the fly. Yeah,
it's called the fly.
Yeah,
but this is called a zipper.
Yeah, well, it's still a. Yeah, I know. He's talking about the hoodie. Yeah. I'm talking about the fly. That's the one that will really embarrass you.
Yes.
Yeah, that zipper if you don't take care of it. All right, pal. Talk to you next hour. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. And we invite you to join us online at Radio Para Mi. Download that free app. Border Czar Tom Homan in the news, saying that the number of illegal immigrants in our country is vastly undercounted. Tom Homan pointed to the big area in West Texas where there's no border wall, no technology, hardly any Border Patrol agents out there, saying thousands of people could have come across during the Biden administration when on a daily basis there were tens of thousands of people coming across. A Texas military base is poised to become a deportation hub.
President Trump's border czar says that illegal immigrant families will soon be housed at Fort Bliss near El Paso. Tom Homan pushed back on critics who called the facility a jail.
It's an open-air campus built for families, which means they have child psychologists, they have pediatricians.
The current proposal is to house about 1,000 detainees at Fort Bliss for a 2-month-long evaluation period. If that works, it could reportedly be expanded to house up to 10,000 illegal immigrants.
And heads up, if you're a teacher, May 5th through the 9th, Whataburger is going to treat you to breakfast. So you're going to have a choice, a taquito with cheese or a honey butter chicken biscuit. That actually, all those words sound beautiful. Honey butter chicken biscuit or a bob. You can have a bob for breakfast. That would be a breakfast on a bun. That would be May 5th through the 9th. We're already making plans. Freddie and I are trying to get our wives to go out there and get us some breakfast. There are various locations. You stop by. I'm a teacher. Okay, I do another one. I'm a teacher. I do. So you can get the whole family, right? And it's 5 days, right? You could eat, right? Just get all this breakfast back. Just stick them in the freezer. You could be eating for the next month, right? Sounds like a plan, right? Sure. 7:13 on News Talk 710 KURV. Valley's morning news for a Tuesday. Going to share with you, speaking of teachers, we're going to share with you the report card for Texas. The Texas Education Agency releasing the report card for Texas schools. How did Region 1, how did the Valley do? Dr. Dan King, he's the president, he's the leader at Region 1. Next on the Valley's morning news.
Give your liver the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NewNordicusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, New Nordic.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
In moments of change, the greatest opportunities arise. This could be your time to shine and grow. At News Talk 710 KURV, we make it simple with tailored promotions, live mentions, and a strong presence across our social media platforms to ensure your business gets noticed and thrives. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, this is your chance. Call us today at 956-992-8895 and let's talk about your business on News Talk 710 KURV, helping put your business on the map.
Charlie Kirk here, host of The Charlie Kirk Show, inviting you to stay tuned for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez, coming up a little later on this morning starting at 9 on News Talk 710 KURV.
This is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. So they're hosting the Tigers, 6:40 pregame tonight. Big thank you to the Mission Economic Development Office and Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. The Texas Education Agency made news late last week and provided the report cards for Texas schools. I would say finally provided the report cards for Texas schools. And as you heard on KURV late last week, and we talked about it earlier this week, the major markets, oof, what a stinker. Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, man, at best, most of these big cities getting C's. Some D's. Oh, my God, just awful. But I think it was like, they said like 20% of schools across Texas. Oh, they're not doing good as well. So how did we do? The collective schools in the area, it's called Region 1, all of Deep South Texas and some of the other counties nearby. And director of Region 1 for mostly that would be South Texas is Dr. Dan King. And he joins us right now. Dr. King, welcome back. So you heard me mention how the big cities did and some other portions of Texas didn't do so good. How did we fare? And I know you've got a lot of school districts to talk about, so maybe we can focus on the bigger ones. How do we do here in the Valley?
Overall, we did very well relative to the state. You always want to do better, but we had, so for example, districts receiving either an A or B, what we would call high-performing districts. In Region 1, 62% of our districts scored in that category compared to 51% statewide. At the campus level, even more dramatic, our campuses, 72% got an A or B compared to 53% in the state.
Wow.
On districts, 7% of our campuses got a D compared to 14% in the state, and no districts got an F compared to 3% of districts in the state of Texas getting an F. And again, at the campus level, it plays out, very, very, very similarly. I think campuses that got a D statewide was 15%. In Region 1 area, it was 9%. Campuses getting an F. Throughout the state, 8% of the campuses. In Region 1, 2% of the campuses. So significantly outperforming the state. I think both the state and the region, we still have a ways to go to completely. Of course, this is, as you mentioned earlier, this is very much like lagging data. This is in essence from 2 years ago that was just released.
Yeah.
So at the time this data was released, we were still also have a ways to go to catch up from the COVID dip, the impact on COVID. We have many students in the system now that basically had about a 2-year interruption of their education. That was impactful.
And Dr. Dan King, president of Region 1, that is the organization that represents all of our public schools in the Rio Grande Valley and other counties nearby. We're looking at the report card from the TEA, and as Dr. Dan King mentioned, this is for the academic year 2022-2023, and it was delayed in its release because somebody stood in the way and went to court. So we're not going to release that. Well, finally, that all cleared, and they released the 2023 numbers, which begs the question, are 2023, 2024 numbers on standby, ready to be catapulted in this direction, or what do you know about those numbers?
Yes. So those numbers, hopefully they'll be released, hopefully in short order. I would, you never know. So a group of districts, as you mentioned, on the 2023 ratings, a group of districts sued the state and said the methodology and so forth had changed without adequate warning to them. That lingered in the courts for quite a while until just recently, and appeals court ruled in favor of of the state of Texas. It was a very small minority of districts that participated in this lawsuit. Most districts, a lot of districts went ahead and released their ratings to their own community. The following year, the 2024 ratings, an even smaller group of districts sued the state again to block the release of those ratings. The court has not yet ruled on that lawsuit. They cited a couple of different different elements that they felt were unfairly changed in their opinion. Pretty much anticipate, I think based on this particular ruling, can pretty much anticipate how that lawsuit's going to go eventually.
And I know people are thinking about this, Dr. King. Who sued and what was their grade? What grade did they get? That's where.
Well, it was a variety. I think some of the districts that initially that led the lawsuit were not in Region 1. Some of those were failing. There was a Region 1 or district or two that jumped in, but those are not failing districts. And I don't even recall. It was a couple of years ago, but I know it was only one or two in Region 1, and their boards decided to join in the lawsuit. But in Region 1, these were not failing districts.
Dr. King, he's with Region 1. We're looking at the Texas Education Agency report card on schools. Again, finally, the 2022-2023 numbers have been released. Region 1 scoring much better than the state. So tell me about the grades, maybe 3 or 4 categories. I know it's like closing the gap, academic performances, things like that. What did the grades look at? How were they measured, Dr. King?
Yeah, so there's 4 categories that are measured, and so the first one is basically just your straight out academic performance. What percent of your students scored at the highest level?
On the standardized test, right, Dr. King?
Yes, it's a standardized test. It's what's called it's a test. It's called a criterion reference test, and what that means is that the state has specific standards. So it's a pass fail. You meet it or you don't meet it. It's not the type where you're the test itself on category A is just how did you do? Did you meet the bar? Okay. And then the next category is how much did your students grow? And so the state has a formula: are your students growing? And that's the last, I'd say 7 or 8 years, that category has been really, really refined very well. And so it measures growth of even your top students. Are your top students growing at least a year with a year's worth of instruction? And are your weakest students growing at least a year, with a year of instruction? So it's measuring the growth of all your students.
Okay.
And then another category is relative performance. So how do you compare with districts that have similar populations to yourself, similar levels of poverty, similar levels of ethnic distribution, and so forth?
Okay.
And those first 3 each get a grade, and you get the highest of the 3 of those, and that counts 70% of your grade. And so what the state is looking at, one is, where do you rank? Number one, are you in terms of your students passing the test or scoring high on the test? 2, how much are they growing? Are your students growing at least a year and a year? So if you are behind in the passing rate, but your students are growing, well, really it's more than a year and a year, so that they're catching up, then you get credit for that. And then relative performance. Then the final one is the one that you mentioned, that's closing the gaps. And so if there's, for example, nationwide, statewide, low income students tend, on the whole, across the large numbers, tend to do less well on standardized tests than students who are not low income. So, for example, are you closing the gap between
that group and
the other? So it's a formula that takes all those things into consideration, and that's how that's how the grades are done, and that also kind of minimizes, let's say, the disparity. Let's say if you are in a community where a very, very high percentage of the parents have college degrees, they're high income, and so forth, and a community where it's the opposite. So at the end of the day, it's are your teachers and your students performing well, regardless of what the circumstances of the community are.
Okay. I got just a few seconds, Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan King from Region 1. We're looking at the TEA report card for 2022 and the year 23. It was just released. You can go to the website, get information on that. Again, real quick, Dr. King, the 2023-24, when might that be released? When are you expecting those numbers?
Sometime. It's an interesting year because we just got the 2023.
Yeah.
In August, we'll get the 2025.
Okay, so you'll have a lot of data to pour over.
So the 2024, we don't know if it's going to come out before the 2025 or after the 2025, but it will come out in the next. I believe it'll be in the next 6 months, hopefully sooner. It's hard to predict, how things go as they're moving through the legal system.
I know it's a lot to ask in about 30 seconds, but for campuses that the very few, especially in Region 1, the very few, minute number of campuses that were in the F or D category, especially the F category.
Yes.
What happens to them? How do we correct course? Do they close down if they continue to make an F? What's the plan? If you could just explain real quick.
Yes. So first of all, they're required to get deep technical assistance. And the state does provide some assistance to that. Region 1 is the primary provider for our schools and our districts that need that. Some may choose a consultant or something to help them with that, but they're required to do that. If they get multiple years in a row, then the sanctions start getting stronger.
Okay.
And so 5 years in a row leads to a potential state takeover, for example.
My goodness, that's a long time. That's a lot of failure. 5 years before you take over. All right. Thank you, Dr. Dan, and congratulations to all the campuses, AB campuses in Region 1, 62% of them, and in Region 1 compared to just slightly over 50% of the state. And the campuses, 72%. Did well compared to only 53% in the state of Texas. That would be for Region 1. Thank you, Dr. King. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
That's Dr. Dan King. He's the president of Region 1. The morning news on News Talk 710 KURV. Let me correct that stumble there at the end. Districts that were AB in Region 1, 62%. Campuses that were A and B, A or B, 72%. That was the proper number. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. An Illinois woman has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for a deadly crash in Edinburgh. 41-year-old Amanda Bender was arrested last year after a crash at the intersection of Alamo Road and Texas Road. Investigators say that Bender's vehicle was going 85 miles an hour when it ran through a stop sign at an intersection. 2 people killed in the crash. Court records indicated that Bender recently pled guilty to 2 counts of intoxication manslaughter in connection with the crash. And at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, they say that 9 international students have had their visas restored by the federal government. A few of those students went to court for this. The Trump administration is reportedly developing a new policy that will guide students on their student visa application. And the state of Texas on the verge of creating a large brain health research center, the largest one in the nation.
The Texas House gave strong bipartisan approval for Senate Joint Resolution 3. It would let the voters decide if the state would invest $3 billion in surplus funding for the Dementia Research Institute of Texas, or DPRIT. The hope is to attract doctors, researchers, and experts in the field of dementia. GOP State Rep Tom Craddock, one of the sponsors.
This could be the way we finally cure Alzheimer's and other dementia problems in the state and in the country.
Earlier in the session, the House and Senate passed bills creating DPRIT.
In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
This radio station is home to the Astros. They won last night. Got some bombs, some highlights next on the Valley's Morning News. As an information-minded individual, appreciate you and thank you on behalf of Freddie and the crew and yours truly. Thanks for being an information-minded person tuning into Talk Radio and KURV. And I know you're a nerd when it comes to all this business information. Well, go to the website, portofbrownsville.com. Our port is the economic engine of this entire region. Billions upon billions of economic impact, thousands of jobs. Right now, we are seeing absolutely the best times we have ever seen in South Texas. I know the port, a couple of generations old, but of late, it has been enjoying a renaissance. And the flourishing job opportunities, the billions of dollars in investment without compare in its entire history. 40,000 plus acres ready for development and to host all types of industry. The channel is being deepened to host bigger ships in the near future. And soon enough, somewhere down the road, Lord willing, we'll be exporting liquefied natural gas to the world, and got another LNG that might be setting up a shop at the port soon. So keep up with all this news. They got an industrial park, more investment on the way. Be the first one to know. Might be a business opportunity or a career opportunity for you. The website, portofbrownsville.com. Sign up for the free newsletter.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
Your Houston Astros are back home tonight to host the Detroit Tigers. First pitch at 7:10. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women, Mission Economic Development Corporation, and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
Down in H-Town, a pair of two-run home runs from Jose Altuve and Christian Walker helped push the Astros past one of the best teams in the MLB, the Detroit Tigers, by a score of 8-5.
0-1. And Altuve hits it high in the air and deep to left center field. It sends back Carpenter. Looking up. See you later! Off the community leader side. A two-run shot for Altuve. And the Astros lead it 4-3.
Houston will go for this series win tonight. First pitch is at 7:10. The Texas Rangers bat stayed quiet as they return back to the Globe for a 3-game series with the A's. Texas got another good pitching performance from Patrick Corbin, but once again, no run support led to a 2-1 loss. Game 2 is tonight at 7:05. The Rockets played Game 4 of their series with the Warriors last night, and the back-and-forth game didn't end up going Houston's way as they fell 109-106 late. Houston will try to fend off elimination on Wednesday. The Dallas Stars obliterated the Avalanche 6-2 to take a 3-2 lead in the series behind 3 points from Wyatt Johnston, as well as 3 points from Mikko Rantanen against his former team. Game 3 is on Thursday at 11 a.m. in Colorado. I'm Jacob Ray, and this has been your TSN Sports Minute.
AccuWeather says, much like yesterday. High should be in the low to mid 90s. We start the morning temperatures mostly mid 70s here at News Talk 710 KURV in Mission. At our studio in Mission, we're at 75 degrees. Border Bridge wait times as posted on KURV.com. Right-hand margin, and you'll see what the link to Customs, see what they're reporting. So if you're driving back to McAllen, who's busy right now? Only 30 minutes at the Hidalgo Bridge. It's a lot slower at the other two. And it's 35 minutes at B&M, 45 at Gateway, 40 at the Veterans Bridge. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. A change at DHL. They will resume shipments to the U.S. packages that are valued more than $800. Some of the business news of your morning. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
For years, I have hitched my reputation wagon to a dear friend of mine, Dale Johnson, brother in Christ. I love this dude. He's super funny, but this guy is tops when it comes to commercial roofing systems. Dale Johnson, his name. I have hitched my reputation wagon to his because I trust him, and he's come through to Lord knows how many different businesses here in South Texas and in Texas, big projects, smaller projects, well, mostly all for business, some for homes as well. But he's done a stellar job. He has an amazing reputation. Now, I tell you all this because when you trust other people, you join a team, you become a part of a bigger group. You are putting your reputation on the line. So it's not a decision that comes easy, right? You have to do some research. Well, that's why Dale Johnson has joined forces with another outfit, a big group called Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing that also has a stellar reputation. Dale Johnson and his entire team, as good and awesome as they are, they have joined forces with Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, hoping that you make that phone call and get that roofing systems at your businesses. Get all that stuff checked. We got tropical season, hurricane season around the corner, and with the unrelenting, merciless sun of South Texas ripping this and that apart, yeah, you need to get your roofing systems checked or maybe get some of these systems replaced. And now with an expanded menu of services and all these valued warranties, cutting-edge technology, installation technology, advanced waterproofing solutions, yeah, that's why Dale Johnson has joined forces with Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing to take his reputation and all these services to the next level, up in the stratosphere. So you call them and trust Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing. A website, ChamberlainLTD.com. The phone number, 956-566-6822.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in McAllen at 956-803-0058 and Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
I'd gotten a phone call yesterday around noon, and I was at the gym at the time. They called me twice, and I called back, and they told me, you won $1,000, and I didn't believe it. I actually had to call my bank, and I called customer service and everything, and then they also confirmed that it's true that I won, and that's why I love Lone Star National Bank.
Swipe, win, repeat. For every 35 debit card swipes, our customers have a chance at winning $1,000 every quarter. Make the switch to LSNB. Start swiping today.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. PayPal has reported better than expected earnings in the first quarter, but missed on revenue. Transaction margin dollars grew 8%, marking the fifth consecutive quarter of profitable growth under CEO Alex Chriss. PayPal reaffirmed its full-year guidance, citing persistent global macroeconomic uncertainty. Novo Nordisk said it will offer its weight loss drug Wegovy through telehealth providers Hims & Hers Health, Ro, and LifeMD. The Danish drug maker is racing to capture more patients now that many compounding pharmacies are legally restricted from making cheaper, unapproved versions of Wegovy, with rare exceptions. Swedish-based automaker Volvo Cars has announced plans to launch cost cuts of nearly $1.9 billion as its operating profit fell sharply in the first 3 months of the year. Volvo Cars reported first quarter operating profit of $197.2 million. That's down from $487.9 million the same period last year. Futures are mixed. That's your money now.
DHL again saying that they will resume shipments from other countries, those shipments that are worth more than $800. DHL suspended those shipments last month because of new requirements that force these packages to go through customs. This is the Valley's Morning News on Newstalk 710 KURV. AccuWeather says highs for today should be in the mid-90s. The same thing for tomorrow. Right now, temperatures mostly mid-70s. Thank you much for joining us on the Valley's Morning News. We invite you to discover Radio Para Mí. Download the free app and join us on your smartphone. Got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's Morning News. Can't always be around to sell your home when you need to move. That's why you need to call the Ryan and Brian real estate team and say you need to sell fast, man. You got to liquidate that property, put all that money in the bank. Trust the Ryan and Brian real estate team. That's the only team that I'm calling to sell my home. Only team I'm calling to buy a home. Let me tell you about Pete. He's from the team. He worked with a couple in San Juan to sell their home and needed to sell fast. They needed to relocate as soon as possible. And you know how it is, man. When you're selling that home, you want to sell for top dollar. Get the most capital out of that long-term investment. The Ryan and Brian team, they've got a marketing system that is aggressive, that is successful, and Pete was able to put that to work, make sure all eyeballs and ears knew about this home in San Juan, this family who needed to sell quick because they needed to leave town. That home in San Juan sold quick and for more than that family had been asking for. The Ryan and Brian real estate team getting the job done. This could be you, amigo. Make that phone call today. 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
Silence is what you hear at the voter booth in the city commission race for McAllen District 1. I'm Tim Wilkins, endorsed by Congresswoman Mayra Flores and GOP Chair Robert Cantu. If you want conservative leadership, you should vote now at Fireman's Park or Lark Community Center or Election Day Saturday at Gonzales Elementary. Visit timmakesense.com for more information. I've got the energy and vision to take McAllen to new heights, and I won't turn it into a 34-year career like my opponent. Vote today at Lark or Fireman's Park, Saturday, Election Day at Gonzales Elementary. Political ad paid for by Tim Wilkins.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Information on your town and your community.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
It's an honor that you join us every weekday at this time. This is the Valley's Morning News. Please discover us online, though. I think it's a more clear, beautiful audio, and of course, more secure method of joining us is Radio Para Mí. Download that free app. With Fred Cruz, I'm Sergio Sanchez, and AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine, and you. That's the Morning News. Newstalk 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump marks what he calls a very special first 100 days back in office today. He's expected to announce a partial break on new tariffs for American automakers.
A senior administration official tells Fox that the move today to soften the blow of some of those car tariffs is meant to give manufacturers more time to move production back to the United States. This would be retroactive, meaning the manufacturers will be reimbursed for the tariffs they have already paid, and they'll also be reimbursed for some of the tariffs on imported auto parts. That levy is supposed to take effect on Saturday.
Fox's Madeline Rivera. Those tariffs mean a new era for global trade, says Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, declaring victory for his Liberal Party after yesterday's elections.
The coming days and months will be challenging, and they will call for some sacrifices. But we will share those sacrifices by supporting our workers and our businesses.
America's listening to Fox News.
They got it. The alligator, city of McAllen, told everybody to be careful if they were at the canal near 2nd Street in Pecan yesterday. An update from the city of McAllen. They got it, and will be relocating that alligator. If you saw it on social media, man, that sucker was pretty big. I'm glad they got it. Texas lawmakers debating bills in Austin, and some say that they are concerned that the state of Texas might be moving away from free market activity.
The group Unlocking America's Future says 9 bills in Austin will make investing riskier by silencing all but the richest investors or forcing retirement systems to ignore responsible guidance. The advocacy group Seeker Strategies, Cliff Walker, says the bills would make it harder for businesses to work and investors to handle risk.
Right now, the extremism that we're seeing on this issue is at serious risk of undermining the very foundation of our economy.
Democratic State Senator Molly Cook says these bills do not represent what companies want.
These bills are an emotional response to something ideological.
None of these bills is actually passed yet. Most are still waiting in committee.
That's Alan Skaya with that report. And now reporter Russell Scott with legislation being considered up in Austin designed to protect consumers against roofers that are running scams.
The bill is aimed specifically at those roofers who spring up following storms, promising to fix your roof, asking for upfront money, and then disappearing.
Texans have no shortage of windstorms. But what we do have is a shortage of consumer protection in the roofing industry.
State Representative Pat Curry is behind the bill. It would require all re-roofers to be licensed in Texas.
What I'm really trying to do is number one, eliminate as much fraud as we possibly can, and provide accountability and transparency so that people know what they're dealing with.
If passed, the bill would create a database of licensed roofers and provide civil penalties for homeowners fighting crooked roofers.
And the U.S. Navy saying that a FA-18E Super Hornet fighter, they lost it from the USS Harry Truman. The move crew, as they call it in the news report, they were moving that high-tech jet around on the aircraft carrier. The USS Harry Truman made a hard turn to avoid some Houthi fire, that terrorist group. They were firing on the aircraft carrier. So the crew lost control of it, and there it goes off the deck and into the ocean. Price tag, $60 million taxpayer dollars going to deep sea. This is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. We invite you to join us at Radio Para Mi. Download the free app and listen to the morning news and the talk shows, and even do a rewind of anything you missed at Radio Para Mi, the free app. Make the call to Culligan like Daddy and I did years ago. We've been so happy with our Culligan water purification system, and I'm very happy to represent the good folks at Culligan, highly trained water purification experts licensed by the state of Texas. These are folks that provide the water purification systems for industry, for hospitals, for laboratories, for restaurants. These folks are experts in creating the multiple purification systems. You ever wonder, for example, maybe you've seen some videos. You have crystal clear, perfectly transparent ice cubes. I mean, that is a multiple process filtering system and purification system that only specialty restaurants do something like that because they want their ice cubes like see-through type of thing for their clients. Well, yeah, Culligan, they provide all those systems for industry, for restaurants. But you and I, what we're looking for are water purification systems that provide us bottled water at our house without the bottle, because with the bottle comes that smell or taste of plastic. With time, if you have it in storage, you stack those things up and leave them there for a long time. Call Culligan for only $35 a month. You have your own system. It's not like it comes to you. It's they set it up and it's there. Tropical season, 120-degree weather outside, whatever's going on, you stay inside and drink as much as you want. Healthy, satiating, wonderful tasting water from Culligan at $35 a month. Man, that is a steal. That is a great value. Here's the number to call Culligan, 956-399-1780.
Exciting events, graduations, concerts at a world-class arena right here in Cameron County. Vote for the venue. The venue tax is already in place, paid primarily by visitors through hotel stays and rental cars. No new taxes for local communities. A vote for means an arena becomes a designated venue project. Early voting is now through the 29th. Election day is Saturday, May 3rd. Vote for the venue. Paid political ad by the Cameron County Now PAC.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in McAllen at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Listen anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet at KURV.com.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast is going to be cloudy and increasingly windy with a high of 88 to 92. And then we're cloudy.
Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV on the free Radio Parami.